Hi, everyone. Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining us. We're going to give us another 2 minutes for folks to tune in. We also have a live stream on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on questions on those platforms as well. Sean, while we're waiting for people to join, maybe you can introduce yourself and go over the content of the session really quickly.
Yep, sounds good. So my name's Sean. I'm an account executive here at Luzmo. So just basically helping people understand what we do and whether we could be a help for them when it comes to building data products. And today the session is around using AI to build these data products, and that can mean a lot of different things. So I'm going to go over a few different, let's say, target areas. The first is going to be utilizing the kind of out of the box AI functionalities that we provide. And that means helping you to build and use Lesmo. There's also AI features and functionalities that we provide that you can then enable for your end users. So, like if you're building a data product and you want your end users to have access to some AI features and functionalities, we provide some of those out of the box. And then finally, it also kind of revolves around how can AI help you build with us? And this is more like the if you were using Claude Code or something like that, like using an outside AI functionalities to use with Lesmo. So I'm going to quickly try to cover high level those kind of, let's say, three major areas. And then from there, hopefully, we'll maybe have a few questions. Happy to address them either as we go or towards the end. We'll definitely have a bit of time to have a little bit of a chat. So feel free to reach out via the chat with any questions.
Sounds good. Thanks for the intro. And let's get started, Sean. I'll be flagging if we have any questions in chat or on any of the platforms. So over to you.
All right, perfect. Hopefully my screen is now up and showing.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So yeah, just this is the building data experiences with AI in Lesmo, and I'll just jump right into it. So I am going to start in Lesmo. So first thing I'm going to go over are those out of the box features that we give you to use AI to build things. We have this AI analyst right on our landing page, but what I'll quickly do before showing that is if on the left here, I'm going into this data sets tab. So obviously when it comes to AI analysis of data, you do need to have access to data. And it's just really worth quickly going over a few things. Like if I go into a data set, if I go into the details of this data set, we have this AI feature called create missing descriptions. So on the left, you see each of the different columns, and we can automatically create a description to help understand what is actually happening or what that column means. So in this case, they're pretty understandable out of the box, like port, direction, passengers, things like that. But oftentimes with the data model is that you get very technical naming conventions when it comes to these, and it could really help to have a description, which the RAI is then going to have access to help it understand how to answer questions based on, instead of just passengers, number of passengers on board for the event, maybe direction. It can be clarified, it's direction of travel. And I can now also, from port to port, if that makes sense, update these things myself. So AI gives it a good first go, and then you can continue to adjust it as, apply your business context, what you know about the data and what's interesting for it. The other quick feature I'll share here, AI feature we have in the dataset side of things, is if I go to the top right, add, there's this formula creation button. Zoom in. And this is basically your ability to create a calculation, a metric, an average, a count distinct divided by the sum of whatever makes sense. So you could go the old way, just, drag and drop an average of passengers, et cetera. Or you can use this text box up here to write it out, and it will generate passengers per count of port. And it's going to build this formula for you instead of having to go, the old route, let's say, of building it out, dragging and dropping, adding things yourself. So a really nice way to just quickly build these metrics. And then if I was to save that, this formula is now usable when I'm creating a dashboard. So definitely worth making sure that you set up your data, providing that context, providing as much context as possible. You'll also see formulas exist here. where you can add a description of formula to help the AI give the best possible results. Now, if I jump into this analyst tab that we landed on, essentially what's going to happen is you are going to be able to look at your different data sets. You can add multiple data sets if you want and start asking questions to the data. So this is before you're even building a dashboard. You can already just start asking questions to data. So this is an HR data set. So for example, I could write, what are average pay rates per department? And this is using our AI, where it's going to essentially make a determination of what you're asking and then give you a text response. So you'll see here, I won't read it out, executive office, et cetera, et cetera, but then also create a visualization to that matches it. So I'm sharing average pay rates per department. So this is a Luzmo visualization. And you'll see at the top here, I can now copy this to a dashboard. So for example, if I already have a dashboard I've created and I want to add it, I can find it, search for it, add it in, or I can even add it to a brand new dashboard. I'll do that now. And now it's in this new dashboard. But what I just asked was quite simple. It's basically like show me something. It's important to note that you can go much further than that. You can start asking things to like find comparisons and like look across the data, see if they provide some analysis on it. So, for example, is there a correlation between pay rate and date of birth? Could be an interesting one. I know that those columns do exist in this data set, so we'll see if it can find anything interesting, or maybe that there isn't anything interesting in there. And in this case, it does say there's not enough data to directly measure the correlation. So, I think this also goes to show that it's not going to try to make things up, which is just as important when you're asking AI for questions. Is it's not trying to provide an answer because you asked it to, explore this, and it's going to also build this chart that shows a scatter plot in this case of different pay rates by date of birth. So it's not just about asking about build a visualization. It's really about analyzing the data itself. If I go to that dashboard that I've put in one of my visualizations to, you'll see this is that AI generated visualization I made from the analyst page, which I can now start to edit or add new settings or continue building out this dashboard. So this is our kind of dashboard editing experience that you're looking at right now. And from here, I can share a few of the other AI features that we have to help you build dashboards, build data products. So if I click at the top, this add item button, you'll see I'm using my HR data set. And this is, let's say, a little pared down version of that analyst. What it's doing is allowing me to build a chart based on a prompt. So instead of the full analyst where it's trying to provide answers, it's 100% about building your chart. You could, for example, go the old route of drag and dropping from our 40 to 50 visualizations here at the bottom. But the idea here is this, I can prompt, so say, pie chart of sale, just to keep it the same, pay rate by department. And it's going to start building this chart for you without having to manually create things. You'll see on the right, there's this edit item prompt section. So it's sharing what it's doing as it's building this chart. It's now created. It's interactive with my other charts in this dashboard, just classic, interactivity features. But if I continue to edit it, I can then start doing things like adjusting the look and feel, adjusting how it's built. So make it it's a donut chart and put legends at the bottom. So it can be this ongoing chat essentially with this in this prompt section that can then allow you to build these visualizations that you're adding to your dashboards. And there we go. It's updated to a donut style. Put the legend at the bottom. One thing I do like to recommend though is while it's very powerful to build via the prompt, it's still definitely worth. You'll see if I click the edit, it defaults to the prompt. It's definitely worth going through the settings of these charts. Um, just so you understand what is possible. So, for example, you may not have known that a pie could be a donut chart. You may not have even understood that's an option, or that things like the legend you can change the location. So, it's still definitely worth going through these settings to get an idea of like what's possible. But then once you do have that kind of high level understanding, it becomes much easier to then prompt to build things out quickly and easily. Now these, I would say are actually there's one other one I will start show quickly. An out of the box feature here is if I click the add item, we do have a something called an AI summary widget. And if I just drag that into my dashboard here, and maybe I'll quickly add another bit of data here, just to make it things maybe a little bit more interesting. Citizen status, employee satisfaction, and make that quickly an average. But that's just to say that this uh, AI summary widget that we're looking at here, it is summarizing what exists in this page. So it's looking at these three different charts that I have. If I had four, if I had five, it would look at those. And it's providing a quick summary. So executive offices, leads and pay app. And again, I won't read everything there. What's nice about this widget as well is you do have the ability to edit it by, for example, changing how many words it's allowed to use. So if I up it to 150, it's going to make it up to 150 word summary. And then you can do also things like a custom prompt. So help guide it, use a fun tone, summarize without bullet points. Doesn't matter what you're putting in here. You're basically allowed to guide it. And it's going to then create that summary based on the prompts word limit that you provide. What's also very nice about it is that it's reacting to this dashboard. So I may have these three different widgets that I've built and have in my dashboard. But what I can then do is, for example, I'm only going to look at non-citizens. And not only is clicking this updating my other widgets, my summary is also updating real time as well. So now it's providing a summary based on the fact that I have filtered just to, in this case, non-citizens and the pay rates across that. So within the Luzmo app itself, that's hopefully a quick, good overview of most of the functionalities we're providing to help you build out dashboards within Luzmo. But as I mentioned earlier, there's also a lot of features that we provide to help to give access to AI to your end users. So this AI summary widget is one of them, but we also have something called Luzmo IQ, and that's essentially providing this that analyst that like ask questions to the data, get an analysis back as well as a chart, and you can actually very easily provide that to your end users if you build a product with Lesmo. So if I'll quickly just open up let me just get a new tab here. I quickly look into this demo application. So we're pretending you've got your own platform, you've got your own product, and you're embedding Lesmo into it. These are the different users that will be logging in to your application. So maybe one of your customers is logging in, and along with classic dashboarding, let's say, you do have this ability to embed what is our called our Luzmo IQ. It's a front end component. It's a chatbot that you can quickly and easily embed into your application. Where just like we saw on the analyst page, the end user can ask questions to the data. The data that they have access to is already predefined, pre-scoped based on your integration with Luzmo. So they're only having access to the data they should have, and that's all happening kind of under the hood. And they can then ask questions like, how were my sales last 4 quarters? Again, this is a very simple question, but they can go deeper to actually ask for that analysis exactly like you did within the analyst page that I showed you. So it's basically a very like for like functionality here. It's a front end component, very easy to embed. In this case, we've kind of embedded it as looks like a widget in the page, but you could just as well have it as a pop-up widget, so kind of chatbot style. You click the button and it pops up to a conversation. You could embed it as a whole page if you'd like as well. Um, but the benefit of this is it's very out of the box, very easy to set up. But what we're finding is a lot of our customers want to have, they already have some sort of AI functionalities, AI agents that they have in their products. So they don't necessarily want a separate chatbot, a separate agent somewhere else just for asking questions to their data. So ideally, they are able to make a unified experience where you have one chatbot, one, let's say agent, and depending on what question the user asks, it may, if it's a data question, it would actually go through and do exactly what we're seeing here, provide the natural language response, maybe build a chart if that makes sense, etc. So that is actually very easy to achieve with Lesmo as well. We are API first. All of this features functionalities can be custom put into, for example, your support bot, your chat bot, your AI agent. And we have a very easy showcase of that here at the top right. You'll see there's a search button. And this isn't a Luzmo component. This is just something that exists in the platform. And I can ask a question about data. Who is my top salesperson? And it's using the API implementation to actually provide the answer to this. In this case, it's only going to provide a text response. It could have just as well provided a visual response as well. But it's just to quickly showcase, adding Lesmo IQ into something completely unique, something not provided by us. I'll also quickly share that we've had some nice advancements on Lesmo IQ and how you can embed it and provide it to end users as well in a second here. But yeah, here you go. We've got an answer, just text response, but it's a custom implementation of Lesmo IQ. Now, as I mentioned, we've actually made some nice developments on how to enable this for end users. I can probably give you a little sneak peek for something that's not 100% released yet, but will be, I don't want to give promises on timelines, but will be on its way to you. Where in my dashboard, we're going to allow, if I go into my settings, to enable the IQ chat. So if I click this button, essentially what's going to be happening is once this dashboard is embedded, there's going to be the ability to open Analyst. So this is a Luzmo IQ essentially a chatbot similar to what I was just showing you. So meant for the end user, you embed this into into your product. They see the dashboard. They have the ability to open up this IQ chatbot. What's really nice about this is that it's even easier to embed because you literally don't have to add any special code to provide Luzmo IQ. And what's really interesting too is this chatbot is context aware to this dashboard. So what that means is if you were to embed our, chatbot as a separate entity, you can ask question to the data. They have access to the data that the user should, but it doesn't look at the current existing visualizations. It doesn't know what's in the dashboard. What's really nice about this is it is aware of the dashboard. You can ask questions about the dashboard. Every answer it has is context aware of what's already in there. So really big benefits on ease of use. I'm just showing it in a preview within Luzmo, but it's the same idea if this was embedded, is that you've got this analyst button that can then open this up. So something really exciting that's coming shortly. Again, can't give an exact date or time that it will, but keep your eyes out for that. That should be coming in the coming days and weeks. Um, and then the other things that are worth touching on is I've kind of already gone over out of the box features to help you build data products. We've just kind of gone over the features, the AI features, functionalities that you can enable for your end users. But something that's very common now, we understand, we do it as well, is AI assisted coding. And so we've made everything as friendly as possible so that we are still quick and easy to build, not just in our application, but when you want to actually utilize the coding, AI coding assistance to help with your integration, with help building, with help managing Luzmo, that's very possible as well. We continue to be those kind of building blocks, which you can build upon, and that actually works really well with AI coding. So if I go into our developer documentation, there's a few different places worth looking at, which is if I go down to these AI resources. The main ones I want to highlight here, or a few of the main ones I want to highlight here, is we do have just documentation is all LLM friendly URL, but you also see here, yeah, you've got the text and agent skills that you're going to be able to use. The Lesmo skills are very nice. You can install these into your Claude, for example. Very easy to do a quick install. And what that's going to do is it provides you with this list of, if I scroll down, can't remember the total number, 9 or so different skills that are going to help you do things like help with the authentication, using our API, just troubleshooting, making custom charts, things like that. So it's a really robust way to just make it AI coding even faster, even more accurate. So definitely, if you do use that as part of your workflows, we'd highly recommend you look at installing the skills. We also have some agents as well for setting up different workflows. What's also very nice that we released is if I go up to this MCP server, this is going to allow you to very easily embed that Luzmo IQ and chart generation to your own agent. So that flow where I was talking about adding Luzmo IQ into an existing chatbot, into existing agent, things like that. We have our MCP server, which makes that super easy. It's really just a tiny bit of code that you can add in, and it's going to essentially be able to embed our Luzmo IQ functionality into your support agent, into your, yeah, whatever it is, your chatbot. There's a bit more to, of course, see in this documentation, but for the purpose of this call, I won't go any deeper there. But that's what I wanted to share with everybody. Hopefully, a bit useful. I'm curious if there's any questions that we can help answer while anyone's watching here. So maybe I'll just open it up and ask if, yeah, we have any questions.
Yes, we're definitely encouraging everyone participating to drop their questions in chat. We still have a few minutes, so we can go over them easily. And while we are waiting for the questions, I think a couple of things worth mentioning are Sean mentioned the Luzmo skills, and we're going to do a separate session on that on June 30th. If you haven't received an invite, let us know. We'll shoot a quick email over. Sean also mentioned that we have an MCP server, and that's definitely a separate topic that deserves a separate focused session. So we're doing that next week, same time on Wednesday. So we have quite a bit of hands-on building sessions lined up, and definitely if you want to get an invite if you haven't received that yet. And again, encouraging everyone in case you have any questions, if there's something you want Sean to go over once again, because this was a pretty packed demo. And if you want to understand how to implement it for you, we're happy to go over it. And thanks to Helena for the feedback. And again, if there's something that needs an additional explanation, Sean is there to help either now or after the session. Um, Even though it's a lot easier to build with AI now, sometimes you may run into certain edge cases where you need some help, and we're definitely very open to it.
We've done it a lot. We've heard a lot of different use cases. So definitely, please feel free to reach out. We're here to help with whether it's testing or implementation or getting things ready for production for you. So very happy to go over these new things. It's yeah, we're releasing a lot of cool new things, so we understand that it's hard to keep on top of everything that's possible. So definitely, even if it's just wanting to go over and understand what's possible outside of a session like this, we're happy to have a talk there.
We have a question from Ricardo, and Ricardo, definitely, we are recording the session, and you will receive an email shortly once the recording is processed. In case you have any follow-up questions or you want Sean or anyone from the Luzmo team to do a similar session with your team, also let us know. We're very open to doing it. And I think the recording will be ready maybe 5-10 minutes after we wrap up. So you can keep an eye on your inbox and you'll receive it really shortly.
If there's no other questions or while they're coming in, I could potentially just quickly share a project I made using AI just to maybe perk some interest on that side of things. And
Yeah, let's
Lena,
definitely
your
go for it. It's a really fun one.
so there's a little echo when you're not muted. If you wouldn't mind that, thank you. So basically, we had a let's go here. We had a bit of a hackathon where for 2 afternoons we were basically looking to build uh, a product that was utilizing Lesmo. In this case, we wanted to the main purpose was to use AI entirely, essentially to build the product. And then there's also a feature functionality we have called the analytics components kits. So without going too deep into that, and that's definitely worth another session as well, is it allows you to really just utilize us in code but we provide those building blocks to very easily to build the visualizations, to provide self-service analytics, everything like that. So the idea for mine was I was going to mimic a dating app. So dating app where essentially you need to have a persona, uh, and then you need to choose your what kind of data you're interested in. So in this case, this ESG data, this machine idle info, these are dashboards I've created in Luzmo. And then what you'll see as I start making my dashboard is these cards come up. These are the individual Luzmo widgets that are being built on the fly using our analytics component kit. And the idea being similar to a dating app is you can swipe if you're interested. Okay, it's been added to my dashboard. Swipe left, I'm not interested. It won't be added. So I'll just quickly, you'll notice that these are live items. You'll see like the tooltips popping up. This is it's not like an image. It's live created. It's a live chart. You'll see things like at the bottom here is the AI summary that's being provided by Luzmo, being put here, and they're also picking up different context about this chart. So the data profile, for example, what's the title of this chart, what type of chart type, what are the actual slots used for the Y, x-axis, etc. So I'll just quickly just add these into my dashboard. You'll see it's popping up live. And now that I've gotten to the end, I've set up things where you can allow the end user to build their own, either manually building a type of chart or use AI. I want, employee count by country. It will try to build a chart, which I can then choose. Okay, here we go. You'll see it's built on the fly. It's picking up all the different things that AI has generated. What's the axes, what the types, and yeah, it looks good. I want to add that to my dashboard. Now here I have a custom dashboard where I've set up, again, using our analytics component kit. We've got a dashboard grid. I can allow the end user to do things like edit it, move things around, do the settings of this chart. Um, Although this one I may have broken at some point in mine. It was just 2 afternoons. But yeah, here's kind of the idea is this was built in 2 afternoons with just AI functionalities utilizing Lesmo features. And what I really like about this as well is I think it does showcase something that's very nice about building on top of Lesmo. It's not just are we providing those building blocks, which work really well with AI coding. It makes it much easier. It keeps the code a lot simpler, a lot cleaner, and a lot more scalable because we're still providing all the querying, we're providing the charts, we're providing that authorization layer, things like that. But what's really nice here is if I go into this ESG data. So this is the dashboard in Lesmo. This is what this application is picking up. It's picking up all these different charts. You may notice they look a bit similar. What's nice is now in Luzmo, I've got my platform, it's running everything. In this dashboard, for example, if I just add a new chart here, so I'll just quickly put something together. I'll put it at the top so that it picks it up first or quickly, a radar chart. I'm just going to add, well, doesn't matter, industry, score, group it by country. Just something quick, doesn't really matter how it looks. You'll see this is a completely new visualization I created in Luzmo. But in my application, if I go back to create this again, start making my dashboard, it's automatically picked this up because it's live taking that dashboard, understanding what widgets are in there. So it picked up this new radar chart I just created, builds it here. I can now add it to my dashboard, swipe left if I don't. It's picking up everything there. So yeah, just something a little fun that we put together, or I put together as this hackathon, maybe to showcase the nice things you can do. Yeah, using AI features to help build a data product. And as you saw, there's a few AI functionalities I also included into the actual platform as well. I think, unless there's any last questions, we're towards the end of the session here. So
Yeah, thanks for that, Sean. Last call for questions. In case you don't have any, please keep an eye on the recording. And if you have any follow-up questions, reach out. We'll be more than happy to help and follow up with you.
thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Sean. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and we'll see you next time.